Hello, everybody, and welcome to another scintillating episode of PNSQ Chronicles. We are so happy to have you with us as we are leading up to our conference in October and also all of the events that we do during the course of the year. So if you are interested in quality in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest, definitely pay attention to the episodes that we put out here. And for today, I would like to welcome our guest, who is a keynote speaker for PNSQC 2026. Mr. Florian Rohde. Florian, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And Florian is a consultant. I believe he owns his own firm. I think the process up in the corner is probably a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Florian's talk is an interesting one. The full title is Inside Tesla, the Birth of the Software-Defined Vehicle and Quality in the Age of Autonomy. Something tells me somebody might have salted your talk title there.
It fits very well, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
If I may, real quick. So I have a past before Tesla, and I also have some past after Tesla. But for this conference, the interesting part is the 6 years I was a manager at Tesla, responsible for every single software release coming out of the Tesla headquarters. And I was signing off on all vehicle level software validation. And that is what we will talk about, but I will also talk about the entire processes, methods, tools, mindsets, and a couple of anecdotes.
So before we started talking, I had mentioned that there's a current, shall I say, wellspring of anxiety is probably the best way to put it. Some people are anxious about it. Some people are just downright angry about it. The whole idea that in today's world with so much software built into vehicles and so much computer control and everything else, it is not at all uncommon for I'm putting in air quotes, base model car to be shipped. And that base model car has everything that you would get in a higher end vehicle. The only difference is if you don't pay for it, it doesn't get turned on. And I've heard people get very flipped out about that and say, what the heck? Why are you putting a feature in my car that's there that I can't even use? And it feels to me like Tesla was probably the first company that actually introduced that as a reality. Now, do I have that correct?
Yeah, and let me tell you a little bit of the history in a very short version. So we did actually offer base, medium, and upscaled model in the very beginning. And the statistics showed us that over 90% took the full loaded model anyway. So it was more expensive to us to actually withhold different SKUs rather than selling everything but turn it off in software because it was a premium product. Most of the buyers took the full loaded vehicle anyway. A lot of things we invented, quote unquote, at Tesla, but not for the purpose originally they are used today, but they were basically working their way into the lower end or the medium end price segment as well. I would not say it the way you did. I would say it the other way around. I buy an affordable car, and if I discover a new feature I didn't know about, or maybe I gain some funding because I get a bonus at work or something and I can actually add something, I can do that with very little effort. I just have to pay for the feature. I get an over-the-air software update and I have some new stuff on my car. Faster acceleration, better sound, the connectivity, and so on. If you want to do that with a traditional car, you have to trade in your car and get a brand new car in order to get a new feature. One very simple example, we once offered an acceleration boost of a half a second. And the guy who was testing that said, if you want that from Porsche, it costs you about $60,000. And we asked for $2,500 and an over-the-air update. So there is a lot of opportunity now. Of course, I understand that some people is like, oh, I have all that stuff in my car, but I don't get it until I pay for it. But you also didn't pay for it when you purchased the car. See, the advantage now, for example, for second-hand car buyers, you don't have to look for the car that has everything you're looking for. You just look for the right wheels and the right color, and then you buy the car for an affordable price, and you load it later with all the features that are already prepared in the car to just be activated.
Well, it seems to me like this is going to be a very interesting talk, and I'm sure that there are all sorts of permutations and parameters here that we could talk for hours about. But frankly, again, the point is we're here to give a little bit of a taste of the talk, encourage people to come to the conference, be able to participate. And of course, the registration info is in the show notes. We would definitely want to have you come out and join us. Florian, just in case people can't come to the conference to hear this talk in person, but are curious about your time here or curious about your company and want to know more about what you do, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so first of all, I encourage you to come to the conference because in-person networking is the premium you can get. But the easiest way you find me on LinkedIn, very simple, Florian Rohde iProcess on LinkedIn. And you can also just find me by florianrohde.com, and that's my website. And please reach out to me. I'm always happy to have a fun little chat or a meeting whenever it's possible. So networking is always on the number one on my list.
Fantastic. Well, Florian, thank you so much for joining us. And to everybody out there, thank you for listening, watching. We appreciate you, and we hope that you will join us for our next episode of PNSQ Chronicles, coming to you soon. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.